strong club?
Rarely.
Rarely. I like that.
So never been a big breakfast guy unless there's alcohol and brunch involved. Charles Martin, been at the gym for almost 4 years in April, and I'll be 60 in 6 months.
And I'm Augie Martin. I'm 17 years old, and as well in May, it'll be about my 4th year. I'd have to say my dad in 3 words: grit, consistency, and caring.
I would say Augie in 3 words is stoic, determined, and kind.
Who's more competitive in workouts?
When I come to the gym, as I've said to many people, it's like the snow day. I'm always hoping the gym is closed. And so I get in here and I'm trapped. And the clock starts ticking. It's like one of those movies, like
Yeah.
and so that's my deal. I'm not about competition. I'm just about get me out.
Yeah, get it done. Here's the mission.
Check
Here's
it.
the mission.
Yep.
And for me, I'm not normally like super competitive like for other people, but I'm always trying to like do better for myself and competitive against myself. And when I come to the gym, I just try to get a good workout in. Well, for me, I think outside of the workout of the gym, most of like my life consists of school, running, and all that. And though I am competitive in a lot of those, I think he wants me to do better than like I want myself to do better, if that makes sense. And so he has more of like a competitive nature when it comes to that, or career-wise, and that go after it mentality.
For Augie, the reason I say Augie's more competitive is because when I'm checking in on him, which is hard to do because he's a 17-year-old, very, very structured, very moody. You know, the testosterone is in all the wrong places most of the time, and so you get those one-syllable answers. So they come off to me as I got this, I got this, I got this, which means to me, don't worry, I'm way ahead of the game, which is a quotient of being competitive.
Who complains the most during tough workouts?
Me, definitely. Well, I've got old bones, so
I love that.
that's definitely the case. I mean, your coaches tell you I complain all the time.
Who's the better cook?
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah, I am. Well, the go-to dish at our house is something that's kind of odd to most people, but we're still in HelloFresh for 5 years since COVID. So
Every meal.
yep, because it's just gotten into this thing. We're one of the top 5 families at HelloFresh. We're like in 300 meals.
Oh, wow.
But so
more.
we like it. It's got 2,000 something calories for this guy. Before HelloFresh, Kristen, my wife, was out of town all the time, and I was trying to get the same 3 meals going, and it got boring. But the kids started growing, and they needed more. So because I do everything else, I just didn't want to think about it. So we're in a non-thinkable mode, but it works really well, and he still enjoys it. So that's what we're doing. But I cook that, and then now we're spinning off into some other things with kind of the Stanley Tucci effect, which
The bolognese.
it's just like making a sauce for the week and using it all the time.
Every day.
So we're doing that too. So I can see we're going to be empty nesters soon, so I can see my wife and I just kind of going into that mode. If I can talk her into kind of being singular with her meals, you know, instead of having to go out crazy and do stuff.
Yeah.
Probably
I don't have an
steaks.
answer. Yeah, steaks is always
If
going
I
to be
say
good.
steaks, they're all happy.
What's the cut? What are we doing?
Ribeye.
He does a ribeye, I do a fillet. Well, he's the better steak cooker, actually. He's got some really cool recipes that some friends gave him, and I put him on the grill. As you get older, you'll see you start delegating. It's fun. You sit inside and drink more.
For me, it's just dinners, going out. We have this one place in Studio City called the Baked Potato, and it's like a jazz club that you can get food, and I think that's a very valuable pastime of ours.
Yeah, we started on the jazz thing just accidentally. I used to be a jazz club freak when I was younger in New York, and it's really cool. I don't know if you've ever been, but It's just a little room about this size, and the music plays, and we all roll, and it's really great. It's like being at somebody's living room with some really good music. So.
And we both love live music.
So as a child / teenager / college kid, I did zero in terms of sports. I was the kid with the droopy shorts that they made fun of. They made me climb ropes and stay up there until I cried. You know, the PE coaches loved picking on me. So I had a bad experience with that. Then after college, I started getting into marathons. So I ran 4 marathons in my 30s to 40s. Did very well with that. I felt, I got a PR at 3:58, and I said, okay, I'm under 4, I'm done. And then I took a pause. And then when I started my agency, which was 10 years ago, I chose this place very quick, and the same thing happened with SoulCycle. I woke my wife up and said, hey, we're going to SoulCycle in 30 minutes, get ready. And I did that for 5 years, 600 classes. And then COVID came and all that happened. And then I was looking for something a little bit different. So I checked out 3 Yelp reviews that you had and came here and met Luke, and the rest is history. I just lock in. I don't need a lot of talking into stuff. I can kind of read stuff from the page and understand if it's a good environment or not. The vibe check is good. And so anyway, that's what it got it. But I do it for a lot of the things that I know some of the older guys here have said as well. It's longevity. I don't want to live forever. I just want to live a good life while I'm alive. I think it's selfish to think that I'm going to live to 90 because I've been at the gym or whatever. It's not going to happen. But I want to live a good life while I'm alive. And also the strength thing, I have not been as strong ever. So this has really turned out to be a great blessing in that case. And this is my church. This is where I come to get away from everything else and have a good time for 45 minutes and come home.
I didn't always work out, but I was always active. Like I played AYSO soccer for 7 years. But then right around the beginning of 2021, I started going to a different gym with my friends and I didn't know what I was doing at the time, and so I was just figuring it out on my own. And then eventually he started working out here, and he said, I think you'll get a lot of benefit out of this. And so I did my 2 weeks with Miguel and Luke, and then started picking up classes, and the rest is history.
Yep. There's one note I will say is I like to say Martins are not good with team sports. My brother was a golfer, went to college on a golf scholarship. I'm not a team sports guy. He does pretty good with team sports and cross country, but it still drives us effing crazy, because there's so many people not pulling their weight in those things. And so when I come here, I don't have to worry about everybody else doing their thing. I'm here to do my thing. And it's a selfish statement, but we're just better with singular sports.
How hard was it to convince you to get in here?
Not too hard. I mean, I was working out with my friends, and I think that was kind of the biggest part, is just leaving the camaraderie that came with that and opting for 5:30 classes instead. And so initially, I'm sure the wake-ups were a lot harder than they've become, but no regrets. I have no regrets on it.
What did you tell Mom about going to the gym early on? There's a story that she always tells.
I know what you're talking about, but I forget the specifics.
He basically said that the 5 a.m. is a pain in the ass, but as long as he's with Dad, he's having a good, he's willing to do it.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, our relationship at least it seems unchanged, but we've definitely have this kind of bonding moment that definitely no other parent-son duo has, where we're up at 5 a.m. and getting work done before the day starts. And so I think we have that kind of fraternal connection.
It's reaffirmed. I mean, Augie's been Augie since he was very young in terms of determination, not having to BS with why or what. He understands what's good and what's wrong, what's bad, and why we're doing what we're doing. He's not giving himself enough credit, but I just think that if anything it's done is just reaffirm that he's on a really good path to whatever he wants to do. And this new thing with his college and all that is proven that these last 4 years and working out here and all that has helped get to that point. Getting through high school at the top of his game and getting accepted through the United States Air Force Academy.
Well, I think just all of it inspires me. The fact that he comes here day after day and he's like a Swiss watch where he's just consistent and always on time. And so I think that's the kind of the organization that he brings to his day-to-day life, especially at the gym, really inspires me. Well, currently I'm trying to train for track season, and I'm hoping to break the school 3,200 meter record, which I believe is 8:56.
That's 2 miles, right?
2 miles. So that's about 4:28 per mile. Yeah.
Bro.
So that's the goal right now.
Well, that's a whole 2-hour movie I could make. But I say the advice I would give parents is start early, be determined to put the rules down and say this is what you're going to do. You need something that's constructive, that is the base for everything else you're going to do. And athletics has been that for Augie since day one. He wasn't a great t-baller, I'm going to say, but again, team sports aren't our thing. But once he found his niche, which was running, and like every parent, we went around the circle to see what he was interested in. I would also say try a lot of things, but this environment really is like a safe haven for just trying to figure out your body, understanding it as early on as possible, being with dad, being with mom, or being on your own and having them sit and watch or whatever that you do, and just have a place that you can be yourself and kind of build yourself physically and mentally. There's a lot of that going on here. This is a great environment for that. So anyway, I would just say the advice is don't let up. And you don't want them in here that they're forced, but just come along. Let me show you how everybody does and acts and feels, and look, see how we grow. The stuff that Augie already said he recognizes here. Yeah. Oops.
Not a post-workout meal for in the mornings per se, but if I do a race or something, I like to get canes after. It's kind of my special treat to myself. So that's the occasional gift.
My lunch is my reward, and if you saw the crap I eat, dude, you'd freak out. It's like 100% opposite of what this place is all about. So I do canes, I do drive-throughs all over the place.
Yeah?
Yeah, one of the things that a lot of our older guys here say, it's like, this is why I come here so I can drink, or I come here because I can eat crappy, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm not pulling up to the healthiest restaurant at lunch.
What's your favorite local indulgence?
In-N-Out, probably. I was there today. But yeah, I also am a service freak, so it's really efficient. I get it. It's clean. I'm outside. I read my book, eat my lunch. I have a routine. So people, when I say that Augie got accepted to the academy, they're kind of, wow, and how long has he been doing that? And I say, well, since the 8th grade, and it's been probably even before that. So when we got to the point we knew that's what his path was going to be, and it's a crazy thing because you really have to lock in. You can't do it last minute. The biggest quotient of that is health and being fit. You can't go in with any malady whatsoever, and you need a sport, because if you don't, they put you in their basic PE, if you will, and I don't think that's a fun place to be, in a place that's really all about athletics. So he found his niche, as I mentioned, in running, and then we just kept building upon that. And the thing I remind him the most, almost every day, is you can't be injured, can't be injured. And teenagers, all they want to do is jump off the curb, jump over the car, do all these stupid things and get sandlot injuries that put them out of place for this thing. So he's been really good about, I'm sure he does it, but he's been really good about staying out of trouble with that, which is not easy. So yeah, we got the plan, and we focused on it, and we literally almost daily checklist for 4 years or something.
Well, I think when I talk to my peers about my day-to-day, they're always surprised that I wake up at 5 a.m. because a lot of the kids I surround myself with, they get up at 7:30, brush their teeth, and then leave last minute to go to school. And so it's kind of given me a confidence boost when it comes to interacting with them, how now by 8 a.m., I've already been up for 3 hours. I've already got my workout in. And so it's put me like one step ahead. And then each day that's kind of culminated into a lot of steps. So I think discipline-wise, it's really put me ahead of my peers.
Yeah, and I would add in for the parent thing that you asked earlier is that this discipline feeds into the grades, right? Yeah. So if you're the kid who says, oh, wait a minute, I've already done half my work by 7 a.m., then grades are easier. It's just the way, the mentality. The mindset is much, much different than the one he describes, which is get out of bed, be late for everything, and you're just kind of always catching up. And he's always ahead of the game, which it helps because he takes a lot of very difficult math and science stuff.
Yeah, and I like my sleep, so I always have to plan ahead with work-wise, because if I'm waking up early, I need to go to bed earlier, and so that's always something in the back of my head.
The advice I would give myself as a new parent, just relax a little bit more. I'm not one to be relaxing very much, I do in the sense of, sit on the sofa and watch a movie, but in the same sense, I'm always on and, I was just pounding him on the text earlier about some emails that we got to deal with, So I'm always doing that, and I need to pull that back. And as age goes forward, I start doing it more. But that's what I would say is let your kid be who they want to be. They're going to end up alone anyway without you. So the earlier, the better.
I would say just do it right. I think a lot of the times I took the easy road, and I wish I would have gone back and kind of taken the time, though it was harder and probably not as fun, just to do the job right and get it done and not half-ass it.
I guess the one thing that I'd like them to see or catch is just be brave, bring your kid in. It's okay, it's gonna work out. Let them, be free. Trust your kid. That's the thing. I think when we have young kids, our nature is to, oh no, you don't know well enough. You don't know. Let me tell you how it's gonna go. And the quicker you kind of let go of that, even at an early age, I think you'll start to see adults grow and bloom in that young kid. And so that's my wife and I way on early. As an example from my sister, actually, who raised her kids differently, is like we didn't want babies around the house. And when we say that, it's not that we didn't love our babies, but we, as soon as possible, we wanted to get out of that. There's this whole thing of concierge and bulldozing parents now. And, I'll break all the barriers for you, go to college. If the professor's mad at you, I'll write him a letter, all these things. And it's just not the method that we do. It's completely the opposite. He's got to be on his own. He's got to advocate for himself. And I think that's also something really hard for teenagers to do.
I'd say have fun finding your limits, your physical limits, but also your limits within your relationships, and kind of seeing what you guys can and can't do together. Because, at the end of the day, not everybody are perfectly compatible 24 hours. And so I think seeing what you guys do well together and then seeing what you guys don't do well together is really valuable. And applying that to your day-to-day life, then you get more benefits out of it and more enjoyment all throughout.
There's a saying that I have, which is, I'm not your friend, I'm your parent, I'm your dad, I'm your father. And that's the only line that I draw, which is, at the end of the day, I still have to be responsible for you. But other than that, like you said, we have to recognize what pisses ourselves off between each other, stay away from those third rails, and prosper in the good stuff that we can put together. Parenting is not perfect. Childhood is not perfect. And you're never going to have a perfect relationship with your child. There's just no way. There's going to be bad days and good days. And he's great at recognizing kind of his mood swings and all these things and saying, I really missed out on having a great discussion with you because I was in a bad mood or whatever. And at the same time, I'm trying to say, hey, dude, I'll let you go. I'll get away. We'll talk tomorrow, kind of thing. And so we do a lot of that. We try to just recognize each other's gifts.
So good.
Hi, I'm Charles.
And I'm Augie.
We are Reason Athletes.